Hello, everyone. So a QA says to you, I am not able to estimate for the development piece of this user story because I do not understand the effort that it takes to complete this work, right? I can only estimate for the testing part of the user story. What would you say to this QA? Okay, so this is what I'll say to this QA. In Agile, we do not work individually. It's a collective effort for us to get work done, right? We thrive to work as a team together. And so when we have a user story, remember, at the end of every iteration, we need to ensure that we're delivering a done increment that can be shipped to the customer and that has value. And so in every user story, we need to incorporate the development part of the work and the testing part of the work. So there is no splitting between the development part of the work and the testing part of the work. We are estimating the efforts that it takes for us to be able to, deliver or burn an increment, right? Something that does not have any defects and that the customer can use. And so it is very important for the QA to understand this and the rest of the team. I would also explain to the QA that we're looking at how complex this work is. We're looking at what are are there dependencies, are there risks, are there anything that can make this user story more difficult to get done, right? We're looking at all of these things, keeping even the detailed technical pieces away from it. How complex do you think that user story can be? And one thing about estimation is just an estimate, right? So it's okay for you to share your thoughts, your ideas about what you think will be an estimate for that user story for the development part. And of course, you also add your QA part of the story point or estimate for that user story. So let's say, for example, a developer will, say that a user story could be a 5, and then a QA will say a user story could be an 8. That is very good. Why is that good? Everybody has their own idea about the estimate of that user story. And this is where estimation becomes very important, right? So when we have these differences in our estimates, then communication comes in. We start to have communication about, okay, why do you think it's a 5? What is your thought process on that? Why do you think it's an 8? What is your thought process about, giving an 8? And the developer will obviously be able to share their thoughts and as well as the QA. And that's why the teams will have these conversations and come to a conclusion of what it is that they think collectively will be the appropriate estimate of that user story. So, QAs, developers, it is not that you know how this work is going to be done totally before you can estimate it. It's about how complex do you think this work can go? Are there any dependencies? Are there anything that will draw back, right? That will make this user story be more difficult to get done. These are all the things we want to discuss, because if there are also so many dependencies, we want to be able to talk about them and be able to eliminate them, right? Because this is a big risk for us to even take, tickets with a lot of dependencies into a sprint. So this conversations is what we want to see. You just need to gauge at the complexity of this user stories and what you think at the moment you're understanding at the set time. Because also remember, a lot of times when you actually start to get the work done, you might still discover that it is even more complex than you thought, or it is even simpler than you thought. And that's why Agile is flexible. QAs, it's okay, we get it, but we have to work as a team because it's a team effort. And if we fail as a team. And if we win as a team. And that is why estimation in Scrum is relative, right? We're comparing two things. An example I can give to my QA is, let's compare what estimate you think you can give to producing a bicycle, for example, and producing a car. So if you ask somebody, how much effort do you think you take to actually develop or create or produce a bicycle, and compared to the efforts that it will take to produce a car, 100% I believe people will tell you right away that it would take more time to be able to build a car than to be able to build a bicycle. And that is why estimation in Scrum is relative, right? We're comparing two things. Yes, so we gotta be able to understand the difference and know that it's a relative estimation. We're trying to gauge, right? The complexity, how complex it is to build one thing as relative to another thing, right? Okay, so if you like our content, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. We truly, truly appreciate you. See you in the next video.